Hi guys, Pereya here, as my great grandmother will call me. So, this is something that I've been thinking, most especially from watching Penn, meaning Penwell from the Convo. There was an interview that he did with a guy, forgot his name, but they were specifically talking about a form of education system. So this made me think, for the past few years, there's been a lot of complaints about the government underfunding schools and our education system being extremely bad, for which I do agree. Education is not only about being academically smart, but there's a lot in education than being academically smart or cram pass and forget, as we call it. So this has been my idea, and this idea came through because of from my study, I did medical lab science. So from the theoretical part of it, being in varsity, studying it, and being at the lab now, doing it physically and doing the diagnosis. I loved micro, so I was in the micro lab, understanding micro to the core that when you're in the lab, it's totally different from theory, where now in the lab you clearly understand, you know what you are following up, you know what you're doing, and now the theory starts making sense. But anyway, let me not explain about me. Let me get to my idea. Here's my idea, and it's a very interesting one. So my idea was, in high school, from grade 10 coming up. I'm going to focus on that now because those are the parts where in high school I believe we can learn critical skills, and you don't have to be academically smart to understand the content of what the teachers are teaching. If they can move away from only teaching, what do you call this? From only teaching theoretically, but start to implement practicals. Anyway, I digress. Let me focus on this. Here's what I mean. Let's say grade 10, you choose economics, accounting, business studies, you include agriculture there. I'm just going to use those ones. Now, let high school have what do you call this? Have a governing body that comes out with the idea where the agricultural students have a farm, because most especially our black or our Kasi schools, I may call it, most government schools, most especially Ekase and in the villages, we have quite a few land where we can speak to, if it's in the village, we can speak to the what do you call this? To the chiefs. We can speak to the traditional leaderships there to give us land. Let's say you're doing agriculture. We have, let's say, chicken farms. We can have plant vegetable farms, and kids that are doing agriculture, they will do the farming. But the governing body can hire someone to look after the farm after school. But this will allow the kids to practically experience what do they mean about agriculture. I forgot anything about agriculture, but you get my point, where they practically do what agriculture is. They do the farming, and kids that are doing accounting, economics, business studies are doing the financial books for the farm. I don't know if that makes sense. So kids that are in business, accounting, financial management, they are doing the financial books for the farm, where where they do chicken farms, whatever produce they have, they try to approach local retail place. They approach abomama who are selling on the streets, where they become suppliers of those places. They can compete. From Mkul, we had how many schools? One, two, three, four about schools. And we have a lot of mamas who are selling on the streets. We have ShopRite, we have Boxer and other stores. So where all these schools are competing into getting into that market, where they sell their produce to that market, where the business kids have to go pitch to the retailers, to the abomama, how much will they sell their stock to, whatever income, whatever revenue they are getting, the books are being done by the financial students. If the teachers They can't manage. These kids that have started in that school. We now they're agricultural scientists, they are accountants, they are CA, and they have to come back and give back to the school and show the kids how it's done, how to properly do tax of that of that company that I have opened by the school, even if it's an NGO. Basically, what I'm trying to say, I don't know if I make sense, but it's more of it becoming more practical than theory. Where now these produce that you're producing from the agricultural space, the agriculture part it's done by agricultural students. The business studies and the accounting comes in, they go negotiate, they go look for customers to sell the produce of the agricultural products, and they come back after they've gotten and they sold to do the accounting part, to do the finance part, to do the balance sheets, because now they'll be practically counting how much income they made, how much was management cost, how much was the profit, net profit. They take the profit, reinvest back into the school. So now, in that sense, school will have profits if it will be fundable. School will have more income coming through to them. The kids won't be getting profit, but they'll be getting the actual real work more than doing the theory about Jelangema balance sheet, where if others are a bit slow, it doesn't make sense until they practically show them how the balance sheet is done. And explaining, Guti, we sold 100 cabbages. So these cabbages, it costed so much to produce the cabbages, and we sold it for how much, and the management cost with this much, and the net profit was this much. And within the net profit, we're going to take the net profit, we expand into other things. So I feel like that's how this is not purely going to be only focusing on agriculture and accounting, but any other sphere of selective that we do from grade 10 to grade 12. For example, in the villages is interesting. The way kids that we're doing CAT, computers, they only showed them, I could be wrong, but Excel, how to use Word, Excel, just the basics that you can learn on yourself. But I feel like even if you're doing computer, they will start teaching those people how to fix computers, how the hardware of the computer per se. Because even if you fail the theory part, the academic part, you have the practical idea how to fix computers. You can go out there and be self-sufficient by doing those trades on your own. Same thing on the agricultural part. You can go there and trade on yourself. The last thing that I'll close about, I feel like South Africa should introduce that, because we are complaining about foreigners taking over the barbershop industry. When I cut my hair, I cut from guys from Ghana, extremely good barbers. So as we interacted with them and I spoke to them, the thing that they emphasize, they said after high school, the government have programs where they teach those people trades, how to cut hair, clean, how to cut hair. You don't need to be academically smart. You could have failed in high school. They could have not been doing well. Might not be doing well, but you could have failed in high school, not do well by the cram pass and forget techniques. But now when you leave, they teach you have trade how to fix cars, trade how to fix computer, and so on and so forth, doing hair. Those guys are here in South Africa and they're doing well for themselves. As South African, what are we doing? Nothing. We are complaining that they're taking our jobs. So my point is, let the school do the job for themselves. Let the school start having those ideas and start implementing those without waiting for the government. I think the government can catch along while we are starting to do things ourselves. And big ups to Penn. I think he gave me these ideas as well as engaging with different people. My name is Prayer. Have a great day, guy. Bye.